Hello, everyone. It's Sunday night, and it has to be the APAT show. And we are back online after a sensational weekend last weekend at Dusk Till Dawn. Leigh, we have a very special guest in who had a very big weekend along with his teammates last weekend. How has your week been? And before that, why don't you tell us who we've got?
Well, it's what a week. I mean, to think it was this time last week we were all in Nottingham. I'm trying to think roughly when in the night we kind of had got the whole thing kind of guaranteed as to what was going on. Now we did plan from Nottingham to do some sort of APAT show last Sunday. That was the plan. But do you know what? Then the shit got real with the poker because the APAT show team only went and did the business. And so tonight we have the skipper, Paul Haycock, to tell us all about it and reminisce on live.
Champion is champion. Fantastic weekend it was too.
Oh, well done, Paul. Well, listen, it's got to have been around this time, Leigh. I sense it was around this time, maybe a little bit earlier last Sunday night when, Simon Trumper put out the final call. This is it. We've done the maths. It's irrevocable now. The APAT show have won this thing. And, within 2 minutes, Paul was uncorking champagne on the floor of Dusk Till Dawn. Two of the guys who were still playing for the APAT show team left their tables to raise their glasses. And it was unfortunate. Natalie, a member of the successful team, she was traveling. She had to leave a little bit early. But Paul, wow, that was some pretty sparky captaining you did there, sir.
I mean that was my main contribution to the whole thing. To be honest, I was caterer, cheerleader. My contribution to the actual total was zero. So, on the one hand, absolutely delighted, really pleased for the team, dead excited. On the other hand, feel like an absolute fraud.
But it doesn't work like that, does it? I mean, on average, I think, am I right in saying, Leigh, on average, 3 players, possibly 4, but 3 players was what each team carried forward into day 2.
Yeah, pretty much. So we started with 280 runners at the beginning of day 1. That was 35 teams of 8. We got down to actually bang on 100 at the end. And most of them were still queuing to get in. That was the
insane, wasn't it?
So on average, it was pretty much three players per team on average that we had that came back for day 2. So there were 5 teams that came back with 5, of which the APAT show was one of them. So I mean, to get any more than 5 through, Paul, would have been pretty impressive. Although, to be fair, a couple of levels before the end, we had 7 in, didn't we?
We were 40 minutes away from getting 7 of our 8 players through. Wow. Me and Pete Wigglesworth played 27 levels of day 1 between us and didn't score a point between us. Kind of a killer at the time, but it's funny. But yeah, we got 5 players through, and the cream rose to the top.
That was absolutely fantastic. Bill Shepherd turned up for day 2. He played all of 90 seconds, and he took your point.
Yeah, he did.
Got a massive ovation as he left.
To be honest, I don't think anybody quite celebrated their points quite as much as Bill did. I mean, I thought he was going to do a lap of honor around the club at one point. It was
one more point that I got.
Oh, it was absolutely fantastic. So our top 3, Leigh, the APAT show, won it reasonably comfortably in the end. I mean, obviously it's nervous for the teammates. A lot of them were coming up and looking at the spreadsheet, sort of, which was on the APAT table. I mean, obviously it was showing on the screens around the casino, but I think a lot of the serious discussion were held up there. And for a period of time, there were 5 teams in contention, but it quickly became clear that the APAT show would go on to win, but then there was some pretty stiff competition for silver bronze. Ultimately captured by Race for Jack under David Amos, who captured silver, and the Black Country Poker Club, of course, legends of the APAT scene for many years, held on to capture bronze from Yes Club and Froome. But a pretty competitive event throughout, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was. I mean, I'm trying to work out, Paul. Were we 2 tables out when it was nailed on, or was it 3?
Yeah. We're just gone from 3 down to 2.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I mean, so that we were down to 16 players left before actually it was a done thing. I think what happened is probably from about 4 tables out, you had 3 players left in, and a couple of the others only had 2. And I mean, there it was a point of, I guess, telling your guys, right, you just keep sitting tight and letting the exits happen. Whilst it's not you, that's only adding and strengthening your position. Yeah.
But that was the case right from the start. So we did our research, right? So the point structure is completely linear. So it's completely different to a normal MTT where you've got the ICM considerations of all the money being top loaded, in the top few positions. Here, obviously not the case. So it was always much more about getting as many of your players through, because then every exit you gain the number of points equal to the number of players you've still got in. So if you can get 5 through like we did, or 7 like we nearly did, that was obviously going to put us in good shape. And then 4 of those 5, went pretty deep as well. So it was a combination of, yes, we had 3 players go really deep, but we'd also got a chunk of points in the bag. So that made it easier to get it across the line. And the guys, the ones that were left, we had Brendan and Jay and Tom, and they all knew what's what. They all knew what was going on. Absolute ringers, all 3 of them. So I was keeping them updated with the scores. They were keeping an eye on the screens themselves. They knew how far we were away from securing it. So on the one hand, we were having a good time and having a few beers and everything, but we're also keeping an eye on, what do we need to do here to get it over the line, which we did.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think we have the moment that Simon Trumper announces the results here. Let's run this for a couple of minutes. Let's just sit back and enjoy the moment.
Yeah, let's.
With 20 players left, can I have a round of applause for the APAT show, because they can't get beaten. They're going to share £8,000 first prize.
It's an ideal winner.
Curry. Hey guys, come on over. Come on. James. James Leigh here, member of the successful APAT show team here at Dusk Till Dawn. Come on in, Carrie. Come on in, Simon. Come on, guys. Come on. Carrie, come on. We're live. Come on. Oh, there's gonna be some tears. There's gonna be some. Well, listen, guys. So we got Simon Allen, James Leigh. Carrie will join. Here she comes. There's a lot of love here. How does it feel, guys? You've just captured the UK team championship.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
It feels great. I mean, I've been coming to this event for 7, 8, 9 years maybe, and this is the first time I've had a medal in it, so this feels absolutely great.
Yeah. So how are we going to celebrate tonight, guys?
Look at the man, the captain. Come on, captain.
We've got Paul Haycock here, Peter Wigglesworth as well. Tom Bacon, still in the event, but he comes to join us here on the side. Here we go. So I'm conscious, guys, obviously there's still an individual event to play for here, so we're not going to distract you. Oh, look at that. Captain is, yay! There we go. There we go. From Dusk Till Dawn, a congratulating APAT show team. Well done, guys. Are you going to be back to defend next year?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Love to hear it. Okay, we'll let you go and start the celebration. And you,
I am emotional because I'm really appreciate being on the team, and we're doing it for the APAT show, which is the best show on Facebook.
Best show on Facebook, folks. You heard it here. And what these guys don't know is that they've got the next 8 weeks committed to now. We're going to have one of them on a week to talk about their experience. That's in the contract.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Okay, have fun, guys. Very well played from Leigh and I in particular. Natalie Bromley, of course, not here to enjoy the celebration. We're going to fill it anyway. Absolutely right. And hopefully there's glass for Leigh and I as well in that. We'll come back on that one. There you go, guys. So we have a result from Dusk Till Dawn. The APAT show win the UK team championship. There's still a ton to play for. There's silver and bronze medals in the team.
Oh, there we go, guys. What a spectacular moment. Absolutely fantastic.
Few things to pick out of that video, Des. Firstly, there's that weird moment halfway through where it looks like Tom's going down on you, but we won't talk.
Hey, we had this side bet, right?
Yeah, that was the other prize. So Kerry getting all emotional about it was just lovely. She was so happy to be there and so excited, and like everyone spent 2 days hearing how excited she was about it, right? So that was all lovely. Jay, you saw that Jay was on the phone straight away once we heard that we'd won it. That's because I'm sure he won't mind me telling everyone, but all of his winnings from that weekend were being donated to his partner's kid who's not well, needs an operation, and so there's a fund for that. And so absolutely made up for Jay and for everybody. Simon was there as well, so bless him, Simon, who so Simon was a late replacement for Jen, who couldn't make it, and he kind of we all wanted to do well, but he kind of had this. He didn't need to, but he had this kind of imposter syndrome thing where like he knew that he was sort of a late replacement, and he didn't run well, and he went out first, and he was sort of really down about that. And I was giving it all the sort of if one of us is still in, then we're all still in, all the rest of it. Not only did he stay for the whole of the rest of the day after he bust, he also came back on the Sunday to support the team for the whole thing. Yeah. Wasn't staying over, travelled over, for the second day as well. That was fantastic. So I was made up for Simon as well as the whole team, obviously.
You had a super bunch of lads and ladies playing for you, Paul, and Simon. I echo that. I tried to speak to him sort of late on day 2. Before there was a result, and he was nervous. He was really nervous, so it meant an awful lot to him. You could see how much it meant to Kerry. You had experienced players in there.
He was the first one there on the Sunday. Not playing anything, not there to play cash or play the side event or anything. He was just there to.
It's just bad luck.
Support
it's just bad luck.
Yeah.
So the APAT show team aside, and obviously we take a certain pride in that, Leigh, right? They didn't invite us to play this year.
A certain pride.
We take a certain pride.
Serious pride,
I'm thinking they're not going to invite us to play next year either now. I'm thinking we got to change the name of the show to something else. We get a second team in. But you'd have to say, Leigh, some outstanding performances from Raise for Jack, the Black Country Poker Club, Yes Club, Froome, and others who went close. Agreed?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was really close. Going into day 2, you pretty much could go right down to anybody that still had 3 players left in, which was a whole load of teams. I mean, even you take somebody. I was sat in the bar on the Saturday night and chatting with a bunch of the guys, and Dan Austin was there. Dan Austin went in chip leader going into day 2. He had comfortably sort of 50% more chips than the guys second, third on that list, and they still had 3 in. They also had Ken McBride and Scouse was in there as well, playing for the D-Gens.
Yeah.
Now I called it then on Saturday night and said, you know what, they could very much be in the mix, and they were right up in the mix going into the trying to get into that top 5 positions. Unfortunately, just fell a little bit short at the end there, but they had an absolute cracking run themselves. And of course, with those top 5 positions earning a bit of cash, there was lots to play for right up to the end of that before we even got to the final table where all the individual money was paid out as well. And again, what an amazing heads up we had there for that individual event as well with Adam Sharples and Wayne Parker, 2 absolute APAT legends who've been with APAT from right from the very beginning, both desperate to get their first individual gold. It was incredible to watch.
Absolutely. Well, listen, why don't we play out that final hand? This one determined in Wayne Parker was the right side of this. Let's just play.
Ace Queen for Adam.
Wow.
Six. Pocket sixes.
Wow.
Wayne is the chip leader of that previous double. Flop is 10, 6, king. Lead to Jack on the turn or the river for a straight. 3 sixes at the moment are in the lead. And it's all over. Wayne Parker is your individual champion. Well done. Adam Runner.
Well, that captured the drama to a degree. I mean, you're going to get it all in with those two hands. Absolutely no issues there. Adam had taken a pretty tough beat a couple of hands prior. Where he'd actually been a pretty significant chip leader up to that point. But those two hands just crushed him. And of course, Wayne Parker is a guy who has more gold medals in this event, this UK Team Championship for different teams, etc., than almost any other player out there. So, an incredibly appropriate champion, as it were, and Wayne's first individual gold at APAT, having played for many, many years to try and get one. So, superb weekend for him, superb weekend for Adam Sharples, very, very deep run. And, I could tell just by, watching Adam play over that last half an hour plus, how much the title would have meant to him. I mean, he was playing very much with Jer Smith on his right shoulder. I think at one point he felt that, he just had to win this thing with Jer's memory in mind. So it meant a tremendous amount. I know he was very disappointed afterwards, but he bounced back with a lovely post on the forum or on the group the day after the event. So I thought two very, very worthy heads up finalists in that individual event.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was, I mean, there was a lot of people that had Jer on their mind. It was great to see the Shea Jer team doing very well at the bar. If not necessarily in the poker, but there was lots of other teams that had had NFL on the back of their shirts and all that kind of thing. And I think hopefully, I'd like to think that the event did Jer proud. Certainly. There was a lot of fun had at the bar, if nothing else. So,
and the whole thing. I mean, I'm not going to make this one big APAT show circle jerk, but like your contribution to it, your speech at the beginning, Leigh, and the way the whole thing ran, the event itself. I mean, it had been 2 years since I'd seen a lot of people that were there, and I know that was the same for a lot of the people that were there. So it's those 2 years had been a lot, right? So I think a lot of people needed it and got a lot out of it. So thank you to you guys and to Tom and to everyone at Dust Till Dawn for arranging it, because it was a fantastic event.
Cheers, mate. I mean, to be honest, I said this to both Tom and Des. I had certain worries about going back to an event. It's the most people I've been in a room with for 2 years, and you're never quite sure what's going to happen or how to take it. But it very, very quickly felt as if we'd not been away. And I think on the part, the vast majority of people looked after each other and it just made the most out of the weekend, enjoyed it, and Dust Till Dawn were phenomenal.
Yeah,
we stretched them further than they've been stretched since they've reopened with a soft launch that they did, and they were pretty much faultless for the weekend. I thought the dealers, bear in mind they had a lot of new dealers in that were being trained up as they go. Well, an APAT event is a great event if you're learning to deal, because you get a little bit of slack from the APAT community,
because we're all learning to play. So
well, exactly. But as I say, I thought Simon Trumper across the weekend was absolutely superb. Really got involved in it. The bit of banter with the first player that bust in the day, and and they were absolutely loving it there. And then Ryan over at the cash desk is putting a call out for the player. There's a seat available at cash. The whole thing was just absolutely superb. The valets were amazing. The food, as always, is brilliant. Bar staff was superb. And say we were another helpful learning experience for Dust Till Dawn in their process of opening up and getting back up to full capacity. So it was really, really good.
You put the photo of the big queue up there on my favourite thing in that queue. I think that was on the Friday night, and when the usual Friday night dusk regs turned up, and then found out that they had to queue as well. Some of the looks on their face was just fantastic. I had no idea what was going on. Like, I'll go and stand in this 45-minute queue to play my usual Friday night game, shall I?
But pretty much we so the Friday night comp was 250 runners capped. We hit that, and then another 100 or so, or 90 to 100 re-entered. So it was uniques at 250. That was completely gone. Obviously, the main event, 280 runners, all sold out in advance, paid in. we always amaze these venues when we do that. We say they're all bought in. Don't worry about it. No need to. The cash desk, bless her, she was kind of twiddling her thumb Saturday morning, going, "What's going on? We've got 300 people in the card room, and I don't actually need to do anything. This is incredible." Then the Saturday night side event, I think it was 90 sold out an hour before it started. Again, couldn't fit any more in, and exactly the same thing happened on the Sunday with the Sunday side event as well. So pretty much. Dusk Till Dawn couldn't have, we physically couldn't have put any more tables on. And even on the Saturday night, there were between 12 and 15 cash tables going at one point on the Saturday night. So, poker for everybody.
There was a beautiful moment on, I think it was the Saturday night. It was probably quite late on when Danny Strange he hoodled up to Leigh and I at the APAT desk. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. And he said, he looked a bit sheepish, and he said, lads, do you think is there any chance that I could maybe get into this tournament that's starting here? I'd love to get in, but the cash desk have said it's absolutely rammed. No chance at all. But he said, maybe, is there anything you boys could do? He said, I've got 40 lads at the bar that want to get in as well. It was just insane, the number of people that wanted to play poker. It was absolutely brilliant. I've been to a lot of events over the last 15 years, and I have to say, from an atmosphere point of view, for whatever reason, and there were lots of good reasons, I guess, I can't remember one where the atmosphere was as good. I shook a lot of hands. I hugged a lot of people. I kissed people. It was just like being back to normal. And of course, you had that pent up want for people to get back out there and mixing with their mates. Obviously, there was a lot of talk about Ger over the weekend. It's the first time the group as a whole have been able to get together since Ger passed, and I think that brought a special feeling to the event as well. We spoke to some people about Ger over the weekend, and we're producing a compilation video which will come out in the next couple of weeks to align with Ger's 1 year anniversary. And I'm just going to play you one of those videos, a little quote. This is Holdy Foldy here, so let me play this.
I first met Ger at the bar. Funny enough, where else are you going to meet Ger? And it was my first APAT game, and I walked in not knowing anyone. And the first people I met was Ger, Carl Liebert, and I nicknamed them the Motley Crew. And they just took me under their wing, and I just stuck with them ever since.
Well, that's been for quite a few.
Oh, there you go. There was a lot of lovely Ger stories over the weekend, and we'll get to hear some of those in the next couple of weeks. So, with all of that said, Leigh, why don't we focus back in on tonight? So, what are the guys playing out there at the moment? Let's put some poker up.
Yeah, we probably should. First things first, let's just do a quick roll back to last week, which was week 47 of Leaderboard Ladders. Yep. And let's just give a well done to, he was actually in Nottingham last weekend. So he'd got points on the board, was kind of in the clubhouse on the Friday night with his online points, wasn't playing over the weekend, and somehow managed to stay there in the end. So to Jeff Talbot, very well done. He ended up top of Leaderboard Ladders for week 47. Matty Ogilvie from Canada did his utmost best to try and hunt him down over that weekend, but could not do it, unfortunately. Richard Rudling-Smith also made it into the top 20 as well. Christine Cruz, Des, who you'll remember from the German team when we played over in Vienna. Okay. Christine also made it into the top 20 last week as well. Carl Rowland was in there as well. So well done to all of you guys. Rolling on to obviously this week. Top of the leaderboard at the moment going into where it's a bit of an Ilfracombe 1-2 at the moment. Yanni's number 1 and Tony's number 2. So we're back to a number of the usual suspects in the top 20 this week. Richard Rudling-Smith is there. Oliver Pennington's there. Carl Fletcher's there. GMAC is in there as well. No sign of Tony yet. So whether he makes a late run for it, we'll get to see. But anyway, on to tonight. So it's the usual final four on a Sunday night. It's the deep stack. Started at 5 o'clock. That had 92 runners in it. We smashed the guarantee, actually. 750 is the guarantee. We got 920 in that.
Great.
In the end. It paid top 15, and Carl Fletcher picked up the win, picking up $240 in that. Beat Benjamin Rode from Germany, heads up with Eric Eisen from Germany in third. Matty Ogilvie from Canada, fourth in that one. So he will add some points. In the main event, just got over the guarantee tonight in that. 90 runners in that. We're down to 6, and we've got those up on the screen at the moment. So Akin Bomel from Germany is currently chip leader. Davison Diaz from Brazil second. Oliver Schumacher in third. We've still got Anders Henriksen there. One Dylan Herbert of Welsh WCOAP fame is currently fifth in chips. And Ray Chan from Canada, who is a regular player APAT. So they're all looking to go for the $690 that are up top in that. PLO, that is down to 3 players at the moment. Robert Adams is currently chip leader in that. Got Eugenie Draxi-Corum from Germany, and Juventino Cantu from Mexico is the third one in that. And then finally, the 9 o'clock turbo knockout. $500 guarantee. I don't even know why we bother, because it's got $650 every single Sunday. This one absolutely smashes it. We've got 65 runners. We're down to 17. We're paying top 11. So we'll keep an eye on that. I see Mark Shepston's in there. Brendan is in there. Aaron Swansland's in there. Kelly Storen's in there. So plenty. Quite actually, there's 3 or 4 Irish in there, Des. So you might get an Irish win tonight in that one.
Let's do it.
We'll
I'm still waiting. Well, Leigh, there is a bunch, and I mean a lot of people watching on tonight. I'm not going to name all of the names of the people that I can see on the stream, but there are some comments here. Brendan Byrne raises a glass and a fist and everything. Good to see you, Brendan. Triss is there. Good evening, all. Same back, Triss. Simon Allen waves. Good to see you, Simon. Eddie is there. Eddie was looking good last weekend. Also, Eddie Niascu, good evening, and the same back. The captain is there, Carl. Congratulations, the best team over the weekend. Well deserved to the APAT show team. Thank you, Carl. Bless you. Stuart Greenan says, fantastic weekend. Glad you had a good time, Stuart.
Stuart. We should just mention Stuart, because Froome and the Yes Club, so 2 teams from the Southwest, finished 4th and 5th last weekend.
Yeah, it was very tight.
A great performance for those guys, and they've been very supportive of APAT for a good while now.
Absolutely. I have to say, Stu, he weathers well, doesn't he? I mean, he hits it hard over the weekend. They all do. They're good lads. Asa McGrath, epic weekend it was. Evening all. Thanks, Asa. Simon says, I think my railing made up for my awful poker. And you know what? There's a serious point in there. It's so important. It really is.
Again with this self-deprecating nonsense. We won as a team, let it go, and thank you.
Amen. Amen, brother. But it is so important to be there and to be, just communication, information and stuff like that, support. Trish says, thank you guys for getting us up and running again. Went fantastically well, and now on to the next. We're all up for that. Glenn Wellings says, was a brilliant weekend. Enjoyed it fully as my first APAT event. Thanks to everyone. Crikey, guys, do you remember your first APAT event? That's going back a bit. Good luck, Glenn. Welcome to APAT. Rich Baker, it was like we'd never been away. Which was the best testimonial. Absolutely right, Rich. Good to see you there. P.S. I tested positive for COVID today. That's an interesting one.
I didn't know he'd been to the Palace. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and let's fingers crossed for the Queen. I mean, that was terrible to hear. But I was talking earlier to my family, sort of saying, so many people, we were hugging, we were kissing, all of that stuff, but I hadn't heard of anybody who tested positive for COVID. So it's sad to hear that we've got one.
Well, there was. I know there were. I think a couple of people mentioned they'd got pinged on the app for having been in close proximity to somebody that had tested positive. So I think there might have been a little bit of that going round, but other than that, I've not really heard of very much. And of course, it's difficult to know. We're a week on from that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Exactly to know when anything. If you have got symptoms as to when you've had a test, is it related to last weekend or is it related to something else? The timescales on these things now are very difficult to know.
It's true. But I'll tell you, as you quite rightly said, Leigh, once upon a time, not too long ago, you wouldn't have been too inclined to attend an event of that scale in any event anyway. So Mr. Pilkington from Dublin says, feck, when he hears about the COVID. Carl says, hope you have a speedy recovery to Rich, as we all do. Carrie is there. Hello all, with a big smile. She was fantastic last weekend. I have to say, not just the playing, but the excitement and the happiness and the tears at the end. That's what APAT is all about. It's not all about serious poker. Yeah, Stuart says epic for Southwest Poker. Hey, I hardly drank that weekend, lol. Yeah, I might have been talking about another Stuart from Froome. See if you can figure out who that one was. Carrie says, I did get a ping from the 13th of Feb. So Carrie did get a ping. The 13th, that was the Sunday.
That was the Sunday, yeah.
Okay. Wigglesworth, one Mr. Wigglesworth, friend of the show. A weekend to remember. Indeed it was. Drew from across the Atlantic. Drew, who plays the harp, as you know. Basically, hold on, where's he gone to? It's everything's just moved. Cure for COVID, a dozen harp. Why am I not surprised? Good to hear from you, Drew. Carrie says, I cashed in the deep stack tonight from the 110 sat. She's on a roll, guys. She's on a roll. And Peter says, Captain Paul Haycock could be my lucky poker charm. I think he's trying to say he's always got you in his pocket, Paul. I think there's an insult in there somewhere.
That's what it is. That's what my poker career has now become. I'm Pete Wigglesworth's lucky charm.
Hey, it's not a bad place to be. You get 10% of his winnings, so you just got to make that work for you. Leigh, we are up to date with the chat box. Let's talk poker.
Do we really? Do we have to?
All right, then let's talk football.
I was going to say, do we? No one comes on here expecting us to talk about poker. What we do? No, we should just update. So we've got the final table going on there, as you can see. We're down to 5 players now. We've just lost Anders Bertil Henriksen lost his ace 4 against Dylan Herbert's ace jack. There's a chop possibility before the jack turned up. I think it was on the turn. So so we're down to 5 now. These guys are all guaranteed $162, but obviously. They're looking for the $690 up top, really, ideally tonight.
I love how half of the team have turned up onto the show just as we've finished talking about the team event, by the way.
Bromers is there. Natalie's out there with 3 cups, and a big congrats to Natalie as well.
They've just got back from a week skiing. So literally this time last week, she was rushing to an airport to head off skiing. And then they just got back this evening and just in time to tune in for the APAT show. So
that's perfect. Perfect timing.
Exactly. You should want to, although I think they had a little bit of sickness out in out on the slopes. So they didn't get as much skiing in as perhaps they would have liked.
No, it's true.
Kerry says she's wearing her APAT team shirt, but I hope she has noticed that I am representing as well, by the way.
Well, it's confusing with the APAT show team because
it's off for 8 days.
You had a home and away kit, right? You wore a different kit on the Sunday to the Saturday. I mean, that was the best prepared team.
This is how bloody confident we were. I said to Paul, shall I get us a day 1 and a day 2 shirt? Yeah, we'll do that.
When you know most of the team is going to get through to day 2, you need a day 2 shirt.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love when Carrie put up on the forum on the Monday, she said something along the lines of, are the grey shirt pictures up? Half of the other captains must have been going, the what? Well, I thought they were in purple. What, there's grey as well? Well, what are these guys?
You should have seen their training kit. Honestly, they've got training kit and everything as well.
Yeah. There's the replica one, and then there's the casual one.
Yeah, if you want one of those shirts, they're proper match day shirts. So they've got special fabric and stuff to help keep the moisture away from the body. If you want just the fan shirt, we can sell you a fan shirt if you want one of those.
Yeah, that's it. The actual replica one is about about 250 now.
At least, yeah. The guys will sign one for you if you want. It's not a problem at all.
And that'll take it down to 150.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but of course, the important thing is you guys get to defend the title next year, which is going to be absolutely super cool to get to do that. So
that will be good. Yeah, so we've got our winners photo is in the grey shirts with the medals, but Natalie's not in that one, so that one doesn't count. So we'll stick with the purple one.
Does that mean we've saved a medal, Leigh? Can that just go back into stock?
No, it's being shipped to Bromley Towers.
Natalie just wants to show it to Adam, doesn't she? Just want to hold
that's
it
all.
Up
that's
in front of him. There it is. Look at that. Look at
that. One of these little things, you mean?
Oh, there we go. How sweet it is.
It's the least deserved APAT medal of all time.
No, but this is the point. It is. I mean, I have been in your exact same position in Manchester, where you're a captain of a side and don't get any points, and yeah, it's there's nothing, there's nothing you can do, because you play. I think you said it on day 2. It's you win as a team, lose as a team. It doesn't matter. It's at the end of the day, when a player busts from your team, you feel it as much, because that's what it's all about, really.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, I had a really uncomfortable moment on I think it was the Sunday, Leigh. I was trying to do something a bit different with the camera. So I got up on the table. I was on my knees, and I had to sort of turn around. I was swirling around on my knees. Do you want me to? I'll pop this up just to show people. I mean, the players were very good. I said, look, guys, don't react. Okay, I know I'm in your face.
You're only short, aren't you?
We have just discovered another benefit of masks, though, right?
Just wait for this bit of showboating to come up, guys. Just watch this. Here it comes.
Then you're going to fold, yeah? No. Whereas...
It's fantastic, right?
Love it.
My ears. And then Brendan actually goes on to say, hold on, you just raised me. You held that for the camera, didn't you? You said, no.
Could you imagine if we had one of those cameras on every take? And basically, it's like that bit in The Wheel now on a Saturday night with Michael McIntyre, where you have to give an answer when you get into the zone, and it's just like and basically, as the camera goes around, you have to action when the camera's on you. I fold, I raise, yeah.
Do you know, Leigh? I think you might have come up with something there. Forget the shot clock.
It's better than a shot clock, isn't it? You can only act when the camera's on you.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he used 3 time bank cards just to be able to say raise it.
Well worth it. How did you find the whole shot clock thing and the time cards?
Shot clock was fine. I mean, it was a 3 p.m. start, right? So either you damage the structure or you get people to act quickly, and I would much rather the latter. So yeah, shot clock was fine. Time bank cards were fine. Structure was fine. It was all great. Your camera, by the way, there's pretty much bust Brian Yates on day 1.
Did it really want my camera bust Brian Yates?
Yes.
Wow, there's a claim.
Do tell.
Because you came in and did a bit of a sweat with Scouse thing on our table.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did.
Scouse had just bust someone, so we had more chips than he could see over. And you put the camera in front of him, and he auto raises next hand, because he does all the time. He literally said, like, I've got to play the first one, haven't I? I was like, all right, okay, here we go.
Because there's a camera there, yeah.
I looked down at aces, so I 3-bet him. Brian's looking at it thinking, hang on a minute. Scouse is always opening there. Paul's always 3-betting him in this spot. I think Brian had got I don't know, 70 bigs or something behind. He 4-bets me quite big. Scouse gets out of the way immediately. I tank. I think I maybe even used time bank to make sure he's going to get him in. Basically, we get them all in. Brian's got ace king, and he gets rid of 70 bigs with ace king all in pre. Because
sorry, Brian. Sorry.
Because it's with Scouse on your camera.
Well,
and basically, if Brian had made day 2, BCPC could well have gone on and won the whole thing.
Could have.
Yeah. So I mean, you're to blame for that. What a motley crew that lot, isn't it? Honestly,
a fine looking bunch, I have to say. Yeah, most definitely. It was lovely to see him there.
And a picture of you in the top right corner, sort of putting the hex on all.
That's hilarious. Ace King, though, that's a little bit loose, that, isn't it? Getting 70 bigs in with Ace King. What was he thinking?
I'm not going to criticize a fellow player on the show.
Are you happy with that play?
In a team event with Ace King?
Yeah, but you've got to. But again, he's not playing. Okay, he's got a premium hand, Des, but he's not. He's playing the players. So he, as Paul says, he knows Scouse is going to open light. He knows Paul knows Scouse is going to open light. So Paul is likely to 3-bet. Yeah, so he's there. Yeah, so
that's all very, very true.
Yeah, it's telling the story, isn't it? Yeah.
What's that now?
Yeah, that's all very true. As is the fact that he's got more than enough to 4-bet fold. Bless him. Brian's a good player, and he's won more APAT medals than I have, and all sorts. So yeah, I'm not going to criticize.
Yeah, definitely not critiquing Brian's play. He saw a spot there, just didn't work out.
Team, however, they did criticize because I heard it.
maybe the interesting, maybe the other interesting point about that little story, Paul, was the fact that we did camera up Scouse, and we didn't put it out anywhere. We recorded a couple of hands just to see what it would be like to get a bit of insight into one player's play. And did it? I suppose I shouldn't ask. Did it change the dynamic at the table? Because clearly, for one hand, the first hand it did. It absolutely did. But was it a distraction besides? Because it sat there for about 10 or 15 minutes, I guess.
No, I don't think so. I think there was just that. It just so happened that very first hand when you first set it up and Scouse. Not only does he open, he also announces that he's only doing that because the camera's on him. And they're kind of affects things. And run like Haycock, right? I get aces in that spot, and Brian's got ace king behind me. So that was the way it worked. I've just noticed. Am I getting shade from my own team? By the way, on the
are you getting shade? Let's have a look.
Brendan Byrne, APAT legend and dealer of doom. And he's just pointing out that in that hand I got 140 bigs and still didn't get any points. So thanks for that.
There's definitely some shade there. There's definitely some shade. Amazing. Brendan is uber competitive, and he's sort of thinking we could have had that thing won with 40 players to go as opposed to 60.
At least I didn't medal bubble the individual event. That would have been terrible.
So yes, but Brendan did. Yeah, he did double cash, didn't he? Because obviously he made the.
And he flew over specifically for it. He brought his lad with him, and
top guy, Brendan. Was Brendan part of your team, Leigh, that won in 2010? He was, wasn't he?
You put me on the spot, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, top guy. Stuart Greenan, best move of the weekend. Steve Pugh from Froome. Day 2 at one orbit left. Chucks all his 4-time cards in that time bank. He chucked in all of his 4-time bank cards. In that time bank, 4 players went out. He laddered up. He goes all in, everyone folds, apart from the big blind. He has aces, ends up laddering up 10 more spots for FBG. Crikey.
He uses 4 time bank cards before jamming aces.
He's like Paul Daniels. He's producing time bank cards from everywhere. People want to see up his sleeves. He's laddering all of the time. 4 people go out as he's throwing these things in, and he ends up laddering up 10.
I mean that is both tactical. That is both tactical genius and next level shithousery.
Oh, it's all of that. But you know what? If you don't say 10 more spots, if you say 10 more points, that's a hell of a lot of positive motion.
We weren't immune from that. There were certain members of our team who were, max tanking every decision down to 3 when we were trying to get it over the line. So
I heard Jay Leigh was tanking with ace king at one point. Didn't play it.
Oh, it was brilliant.
It's fantastic team play, right?
I'm talking to Simon Trumper about it. So it was beautiful. And this is the thing about the team event. If you don't understand the dynamics of what's going on, because Simon Trumper was watching lots of it and kind of looking at me going, what's going on?
What are they doing?
He's like, there's a guy there that's got 1 million chips, and he's folded and shown ace king, and like, what's going on? So I was then explaining, so James is in a team that are currently top of the leader, and the guy I think he was in the hand with, they were currently 3rd, and so this is that, and he's like, oh, all right, I get it. Yeah, okay, yeah, I fold ace king. Yeah. So it's interesting when you understand the dynamic of what goes on as to how it works. Yeah, just talking about that, the team from 2010. So it was myself as captain. So it also had Steve Redfern, Stu Oliver, John Murray, Will Young, Andy Duncan, Brendan, as we mentioned, and one Wayne Parker.
Aye, there you go.
That was the last APAT team to do what you guys did last weekend.
Team event specialist Brendan Byrne. There you go.
Oh yeah. Well, Wayne Parker in there as well, and Wayne won with the London Poker Meetup as well. I think maybe in 2011 or 2012. So he's won at least 3 team goals, and he's won at least 2, possibly 3, but now he's added an individual on top. I think that's the call there.
Yeah, and we will get everything will get into the Hendon mob. Hopefully in the next week or so. So
that's cool. That's a milestone as well. Hopefully I'll have another team event to look forward to later in the year as well. Could be a good year for team events.
The world team.
If we get the internationals going.
There were some rumors knocking around Dusk Till Dawn about the Worlds in August. I think we can knock that one in the head. That's not going to be the case, but we do want to get out with a Worlds announcement shortly. But you know, I wouldn't be booking your holiday for late August if that's what you're hearing there, guys. Let's just hang another week or so. I think we'll be able to get something out.
Yeah, that's the plan. Certainly in the next next 10 to 14 days, we will have a number of announcements. You may well have picked up because the Malta Poker Festival released their full schedule the other day, and Yvonne posted up in the APAT group, and you'll have seen our logo attached to it because we have got an event in May out in Malta. Again, it's not going to be necessarily a full event part of our schedule, but we're fully supporting Yvonne and what she does with the Malta Poker Festival, as we would normally do every autumn. And as she's looking to run this twice a year now, we're very much supportive of what she's doing. And I know plenty of you guys have been out to Malta for events in the past and speak very highly of it. I'm loving, hopefully trying to get out there myself at some point. Just we got an all in a call here. Oliver's got ace queen and Davidson's got ace nine. It's the ace queen at risk. And 9 on the flop, ace on the turn is going to be good enough. We're going to be down 2-3 as we lose Oliver in fourth place.
I can't believe how quickly this is going.
Well,
I mean, obviously
insane.
we've been talking about a lot of stuff, but
normally,
wow.
Normally the I was looking and the deep stack was kind of still running when we were about coming live, and I thought this is going to be ridiculous. And then the main event, Flummer, the PLO's already finished. I should just give a shout out to Rob Adams from the UK. He finished first in that, picking up $410. Eugenie Draxler Corum from Germany finished second, and Juventino Cantu from Mexico was third. There are currently 12 players left in the Turbo Knockout, so that's on the money bubble at the moment. We're paying top 11 in that one. So there's a few really short. There's 3 of them absolutely super short on that. I've got 3 of them have got less than a big blind. And it's Gary Young, who was just bust in 12th. But Aaron Swaziland and Patrick Kuchera from Czech Republic have both got not even a third of a big blind. I'm not quite sure how they've all been hanging on to try and make the money on that one. But that's money's burst on that, so that'll now start flying through, as well as we're three-handed on here, as Dylan just scoops up a few chips here. He is the short stack on this final table now. Akin Bomel from Germany and Davison Diaz from Brazil. So UK or Wales, should I say, versus Germany versus Brazil here in this final 3.
Let's give Dylan a little shout out. I think he's in the chat box, so best of luck getting this thing closed out, Dylan. He's got a little bit of work to do here, right?
Yeah, they're guaranteed $300 here, 690 up top, and 445 for the second. Yeah, Dill's got the shortest stack here. Blinds are at 25,000, 50,000, so he's sat on about 14 bigs with 2 of the biggest sets. What do you do here, Paul? Is it just very much looking for an opportunity to get your chips in the middle?
Yeah, it's just jam ranges now. And what's he got? 14, did you say?
Yeah.
Crikey, look at this, guys.
Or you pick up a pocket pair.
Wow.
There we go. He had them right where he wanted them. There you go.
That's what you do then. Basically that. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to suggest.
What you're looking to do is to get it in with 3s versus 4s. You get it in 3. Yeah,
you get it in as a 2-outed dog and get there. That's what I tend to do.
And that has now pretty much evened it up. They literally all have 1.4 million with blinds at 25,000, 50,000. So it's going
to be a later night after all.
Yeah. So they've all got about 28 bigs. So we very much now have a game on our hands here for these final 3.
That happened. Listen, Leigh, Peter Wigglesworth out there. Looking forward to the announcement. It's a toss-up between the Malta Poker Festival or the Irish Open for me in April. I mean, very exciting to see the Irish Open back as well, I have to say. And good luck with your choosing there.
And don't forget with the Irish Open, we should just give a shout out to say there's satellites and everything running at the moment on Party Poker. So and obviously it's a Party Poker Live event. And so very much anyone that can support that, do go for it. I know there's a number of people that are fancying going out there to either play the main or some of the schedule's really good out there. So if you can get out there and support the event, please do.
Yeah, absolutely. APAT UK team champion, one Mr. Tom Bacon is in the chat box. Any WCOAP online plans in the works? I guess we're going to have to wait for that one, Leigh.
Yeah, but not for very long. Hopefully we're hoping that in the next 10 to 14 days maximum, we'll be able to get some information out to you guys. Exciting stuff as well, because I think so. We've had some good chats with Party Poker over some ideas and where they are, and obviously it's trying to fit everything in, because we're part of obviously a bigger picture of what Party Poker Live are doing as well. We're looking to support them very much, with the recreational poker events. And as last weekend was proven, you'll have seen the Party Poker Live guys there, and they did a number of added value tickets that they gave away across the weekend, and hoodies and or t-shirts and caps and things like that, and other bits and pieces. So they're looking to be very supportive of APAT in this coming year. So as soon as we can get things finalized, we'll let you guys know, so you can start booking things up.
Tom Bacon, by the way, who very generously bussed day 2 of the 25-25 at Warsaw in time to get back and listen to the show, which was
that's generous.
Yeah.
You can sit there on your table with your stream playing.
It's probably a bit too soon. He bussed just short of the money, so well played and unlucky, mate.
Well, I think wasn't Mr. Wigglesworth out playing somewhere tonight, or playing Luton, or?
Yeah, I think he went to a random one-day casino night at Luton. Yeah,
it does feel like people are out playing more pokers now.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing we did a little bit differently last weekend from previous APATs. We didn't run a traditional live update in terms of cards and player exits and stuff like that. We did it slightly differently, much more video orientated. Now we can tighten that up. We can do more of it. It'd be really interesting to get your feedback, guys, as to whether video is the way to go, or you preferred the old traditional sort of live updates, which, to be honest, can be a little more labor intensive. And just looking at the numbers had declined over time. So just based on that data, we chose to go more video, and that is our thinking. But do let us know what you think.
Yeah, I think the team event is obviously a little bit of a unique event, because very much we put a lot of time and effort into updating the scoreboard for those that are there, because obviously that's the critical thing for them to have a handle on where they are within the event. I think when it comes to a more natural individual event, then we'll have even more resource to be able to get some information out to people as to what's going on. But certainly my gut feeling is that I don't think we're going to be in a situation where we're going to be wanting to do kind of hand for hand analysis of final tables and things. I think there's better things we can do to kind of inform people of what's going on at an APAT event and make them feel part of it. So I think maybe more of the video stuff is it'll be the way to go.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I tell you, I've got to compliment DTD on their Wi-Fi and stuff like that, because that isn't always a given in casinos. But they gave us access to their media Wi-Fi. The quality was really good, which I know is a weird thing to be talking about. On
it isn't a given. I remember back in the day we did an event. I won't say exactly where it was, but it was somewhere in Scotland, and there was no internet in the downstairs poker room, and the only way I could actually update would be to type updates on the forum, run upstairs on my laptop to pick up an internet connection to press send, and then run back down, and did that for the entire weekend. Yeah.
That's true. Stuart is out there. Would it be nice to see final player positions where everyone finished, or maybe I missed that? Apart from that, was fine. Yeah, again.
Yeah, we can now. If we haven't published that, well, I will get that listed out. That's not a problem. 9s versus 5s, and that is going to be the end of Dylan, unfortunately. Davison Diaz, I mean, Dylan managed to dodge it once with the underpair, not this time, and so we've got heads up. Davison Diaz from Brazil versus Akim Bomel from Germany, and it's a 3-1 chip lead for Davison here. So we'll see how this one plans. This could be over fairly quick, because Davison's been quite aggressive, certainly playing a lot of poker, but it certainly isn't going to be over for at least 5 minutes, that's for sure, as we are 5 to the hour, and the players are on a break. So
I find myself giving those reassurances all the time.
Indeed.
Yeah, it is all good. So yeah, it's been a good week, Des. I'm quite happy. United back-to-back wins in football matches. This is unheard of. I don't know whether you caught any of the Leeds game today, but the conditions were absolutely atrocious. The second half, at one point, I thought they were going to call it off because the ball was just not rolling on the surface. It was incredible.
It did seem a bit like that, Leigh. I ironically switched it on at about 55 minutes when it was 2-0 to United. Sort of looked at the score and went, I can't be arsed with this. And then Leeds scored. And,
with the most random of goals.
It was a bit random. I have to say it was a cross. It certainly wasn't a shot. And I looked away for a minute. I looked back and the commentators seemed to be suggesting that it was 2 apiece. And I'm thinking, how can that be? How can it be 2 apiece? They've literally just scored.
26 seconds after kicking off, they nicked the ball and went and scored a second one. Yeah, it's just unbelievable.
But I didn't see the remainder of it. Obviously, at that point, I just was laughing so hard it just didn't seem to make sense for me to be sitting still. So I moved away to find that United won. I mean, they showed a bit of character to come back and win that. So I don't know.
To be fair, it's another game that's now been probably 4 on the bounce, where actually stats wise, we've had way more chances, and it's just the first one we've actually taken a few more of them and got the win. I mean, previously, we comfortably should have really beaten the likes of Middlesbrough, Burnley, and Southampton. We had way more chances in those games, but couldn't put the game to bed, and that ultimately might well cost us towards the end of the season. Wolves are looking good, I tell you.
Yeah,
they could be the dark horses that could just seem to be putting results together.
Well, it does look like we're going to get a bit of a battle for that 4th place. I mean, at one point, some weeks back, it sort of looked as if there were a lot of clubs who didn't want it. But now it looks like actually there are a lot of clubs that could potentially make that run for it. And quietly, there are only like about 15 games left, maybe even less for some clubs. So we're going to be at the business end pretty soon. But listen, before we talk about City and Liverpool, and I think we have to have a wee chat about that, Natalie has posted up in the chat box, and I just wanted to read this out. So a quick sign off from me before I retire back to my sick bed. And that's a massive shout out to our skipper. He put together an awesome team and then cultivated a really supportive network pre-event. It was a pleasure to play with these brothers and sisters. The mentoring, the jokes, the banter, the love, the tactics, it all combined to a really strong yet effortless assignment. We knew what we had to do. Haycock did that. He deserves more than anyone to be the winning captain. So much love, and I'm sure I speak for the whole team. Chapeau, skipper, chapeau. Well done.
Oh, she's going to get me all emotional, bless her.
Well done. Oh, it's nice to hear. It's nice to hear.
Thank you, Natalie.
Yeah, but she's clearly
all
not
of those
well.
things.
She's clearly not well, is she? I mean,
she's running a fever. Clearly, she's running a fever. But it's true, though. There's, this thing of I went out first, or I didn't make it to day 2, or I didn't go into the points.
Didn't go out first. Let's get that right.
It's just balls. There's so much for people to do when they're not in the serious points on day 2, be it the mentoring, the support, the data, whatever it is. So lovely to hear some good words. Simon says, hope you're feeling better soon. Look out for snow photos in a week's time. So yeah, I have to say that holiday looked really nice. Gutted for both Adam and Natalie that they, got ill and had to spend time in a dark room.
I think there was only one day that neither of them got out. I think they managed to get out most of the time, but good. Not great timing, obviously.
I have to say, Paul, just for your info here, it wasn't all plain sailing in Nottingham, right? So you don't often get the chance to see what happens behind the scenes at an APAT event. We make it look as if things are going swimmingly, but that isn't always the case. Leigh's looking rather quizzical there. Just look at that look on his face, thinking, what the actual is...
I've got a funny feeling the bits we were testing to video and he said, I'm deleted. He has deleted. Is where we're going with
Leigh's
this,
Leigh's thinking we've gone off script here. Right, we don't operate to a script, so
I'm thinking he probably hasn't deleted some video that he told me he deleted. Yeah, that's where
this was hilarious. Let me roll this for you.
Take 43. We're day 94 at Dusk Till Dawn. Oh, blimey, we're still here. Tom's aging by the second, but we're still at Dusk Till Dawn, testing whether we can actually get the sound to work. Background noise hopefully shouldn't be too bad, and hopefully that's going to sound a lot better than all of the others.
Wow!
Fantastic. Gotta love it,
Wow,
guys.
let me just,
You have got to love it.
let me just go and pick that dummy up from about 10 yards from the road and give it back to you.
There's a lot of paddling under the water that you just don't get to see at these things.
And then I flick the switch and walk the room with a smile.
I have to say, Leigh, I thought you did fantastic with a walk in the room with a smile and the info and talking to players. It was really, really good. Really enjoyed that.
Oh dear, but I had a funny feeling you wouldn't have deleted it. Yeah,
it was too good. It's golden.
Still not quite as funny as that one where you'd been recording for a couple of minutes and then we realised that you were still in the shot there as well. That's still my favourite one. You're like, hang on, I'm on the screen. Why am I on the screen?
Oh yes, doing a live, doing the live stream here. Yeah. I've got some great ones. There's we did just we got an all in. Is Akim going to call this? He's raised it up.
I think he's got to.
I don't know.
We haven't got much behind there, have we?
It's got to be thin though.
And it's a wet board. He's probably drawing. Oh wow.
Yeah, let it go.
That's a big fold in that spot.
Yeah, when we were first trialing live streaming, we did an event up in Newcastle, and Des was in charge of. He had only had one job, and that was to make sure he'd press the button so the all the audio was recording and everything else. And so we did about 20 minutes on the bubble, and it was
good. It was really good.
He's giving us the thumbs up across the room. This is sounding great. He's in his headphones. This is great. This is great. We got to the end, finished the bit we did. Went over and said, "No." He said, "That's good." Des, why is the red light not on? And basically, he's the only one. He's the only one that'd been listening to it.
I didn't lie though, Leigh. It was great. It was absolutely perfect.
It had gone nowhere else. Yeah. One job.
It's not easy. The old tech, It's not easy. The tech and an imbecile. That's just a formula for disaster.
Yeah, it's realised. I mean, if you'd have seen the amount of kit we took to Nottingham, because Des and I were just quite unsure of exactly what we would want to use or not use after 2 years. So we packed enough to probably do an outside broadcast of a World Cup or something. It was ridiculous.
I have to say, Leigh, I've come back. I've unpacked it all in sort of bite-sized packages. I've got it all here, and I feel confident now that when we get to event number 2, we can't talk about that yet, but soon.
Yeah. Atkins all in. Is
hello.
Davison going to make the call here? It's about it's only about less than a tenth of his stack. If he wants to just have a stab at this, try and end this. Well, King 9 is more than enough.
There we go.
Hits a king, and unless we're going to get runner, we're not, and that's going to be that. Davison Diaz from Brazil is going to pick up the win, picking up $691 and 33 cents. Winning the main event tonight. Akim Boel from Germany is going to finish in second, picking up $445. And as we mentioned, Dylan Herbert from the UK is finishes in third, picking up $306. We have got 7 left in the turbo with Brendan Byrne on that final table, although he is the short stack. Mark Shepstone's chip lead. I will just set that one up on the screen. Des, if you bear with me for a second.
No worries.
Des, you've seen Tristan's post about Race for Jack.
Let's have a look. Where's Tristan? You
Read
it out, Paul. I haven't got to.
There we go. I'm gonna be Des. I'm gonna read out a comment. I can't do the accent. So
no, that's my accent. That's actually my accent. Come on.
Is it? Well, you just
have a go. Have a go.
You've actually got a mild West Midlands accent as well. So Tristan's saying, I must give a shout out to Race for Jack, the Race for Jack team, who raised over 3K yet again over last weekend. A huge thank you from me and the rest of the team. Much love. Brilliant, fantastic. I donated to a different thing this time, but I'm a big supporter of Race for Jack, and that's fantastic news.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely top bombing. I mean, it's just fantastic work, and love those guys. David Amos, really helped us out as well on the day with bringing our media board and stuff. Just thought they were a cracking team, and delighted that they.
I was on the first table of the day with David. I've played online with him a lot, but I'm not sure I've ever actually been on a live table with him, and he was both as nice and as difficult to play against as I expected.
He's an experienced player. Absolutely.
And again, managed them into second place beautifully. Again, they were on the rail, and I saw Tristan was on that rail following the guys that were still in the tournament and working out what they needed to do. And and I know when they their medal photo, and obviously they all had a bottle of Corona in their hand as well for that as well. So superb weekend from all of those guys.
Yep.
Completely. So we're down to 7 in the final one of the week, which is the Turbo Knockout. Just
Go on, Brendan.
give you an idea. So Mark Shepson's chip leader in this one. So blinds are at 12.5, 25. The guys are all guaranteed just $15 at the moment, but there's $75 up top. But as we know with this thing, with the bounties, you can double, sometimes triple that amount of money if you've really got aggro on the table. Interestingly, if you look at the bounties already in play around that table, it's a very level final table. Normally you've got 1 or 2 people that have absolutely smashed the bounties in this tournament, but if you look, there's not a huge amount of difference between any of them there at all.
Yeah, there's no one on less than 10 bigs, is there? Which
No.
is pretty good for the final.
Yeah, so we'll see how this now plays out. So yeah, Des, you've got to be happy with the weekend's results. Man City somehow managing to lose to Tottenham, and you did the necessary.
Yeah,
everybody in our fantasy football league, which we're in a head-to-head league, is they were all going on about triple captaining Mo Salah this week because you're playing back-to-back home games, and I was playing the guy. I'm playing the guy who's top of the table at the moment. And I thought, I don't need to be wasting my triple captain this week. I've got this guy, and he's triple captain Mo Salah against me. He's also used an extra transfer against me. He's clearly worried about me. I'm just a mid-table guy. I mean, I am just a mid-table guy.
I wasn't going to do this on there, but I am very angry at you.
Why?
Because I'm second in that league, and you're playing the guy at top, and you haven't triple captain Mo Salah like normal.
Yeah, you're pissing about.
Are you just not trying?
I have got him beaten.
Me?
Paul, I have got him beaten. Don't worry about it.
I have to say,
what's the score at the moment? We've got midweek games to go. What's the score at the moment?
Yeah, he's midweek games to go, and he's triple captain Mo.
And Mo's, I got a ticket for Wednesday night at Anfield. Liverpool at home to Leeds. I mean, Mo's going to make hay.
Stay out of this.
I'm telling you, I'm on your side, Paul. I don't see what Wiltshire is playing at. I think Mo will do big things on Wednesday night.
If you lose by 1 point this week, I am
currently right. I'm about
just quads better there, by the way. Just unnecessary quads.
Detail.
I'm currently 16 points ahead of him, Paul.
Yeah, that's 1 Salah goal on Wednesday.
No, but I've got him as my captain, so I've got Salah in as captain.
Okay.
I haven't got him as triple captain.
It's the other 7 players that he's got playing in midweek that are going to beat you, is it?
I've got about 6, I think. So I've got doubles playing. I've got doubles. I've got this, mate, for you. I've got this for you. Don't worry.
So here's the thing, guys. Look, here's the thing. Fantasy football aside, and a lot of people would have said this 2 or 3 weeks ago that what I'm about to say now is fantasy. Liverpool beat Leeds on Wednesday. Please God, I hope so. Touch wood. Hopefully. Win at the Etihad, a big ask, but nonetheless not impossible.
It's in your own hands.
We're level on points with them.
Level
on points. Doesn't detract from City or the danger that they will pose over that, run in, because we know they can win every single game if needs be. But I actually think quietly they've been going through a little bit of a rocky patch. It hasn't necessarily been reflected in their results. But if you look at things like XG and stuff like that, there have been a couple of games that have gone pretty tight for them. And while they definitely deserve to beat Spurs, you don't always get the run. Sometimes freak results happen. I think that was a bit of a freak result driven by Harry Kane's brilliance on this occasion, which has been lacking, I think, for a lot of Spurs this season. But they have somehow let Liverpool back into it, and Liverpool have just been going about their business.
And by the way, I know no one cares about League Two or my team, but there's a story, there's a moral.
Sorry, where now?
There's a moral here for everyone, right? So my team, Warsaw, we lose 7 games in a row. We're relegation threatened to go out of the league altogether. We fire our manager. New guy comes in. We win twice in a row against the teams first and second.
No.
The moral of this story is, if you want success, don't appoint anyone with any association to Burnley.
But you say that. Look at Burnley's results over the last couple of games. They've turned a bit of a corner, haven't they?
Would you want to pick which 3 teams are going down from the Premier League this year? I mean, at the moment, I wouldn't want to call it.
Tricky.
I really wouldn't.
It's tricky.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I think potentially there's a title race on.
Norwich, Watford, and Brentford. I'll make Natalie happy by saying Norwich, Watford, and Brentford.
Yeah. There's certainly a 2-horse race title race on here. Chelsea are probably going to be okay in the top 4, but there was a point not that long ago where you were really thinking maybe they're not. There certainly is going to be a race for 4th. There's going to be a race for the European positions, and you could probably pick 3 from 6, maybe, for getting relegated at the moment. It's as exciting a league as we've had for a while.
Absolutely fantastic. I think the only thing that I could see happening to make the season even more exciting would be Big Sam gets appointed once more to lead England pre-Qatar. Let's do it, folks. I'm not getting a lot of love for that suggestion.
It's not likely to happen, is it?
Damn
really?
it. I'm Irish, obviously. I want to see it.
We are in a World Cup year. You forget that.
Yeah, I know.
That is
coming.
That very much is a thing. I mean, Paul, you follow England, and you got to go to a number of the Euros games and stuff. Would going to see them over in Qatar a World Cup something that would appeal to you, or just steer clear?
Seeing England in the World Cup, absolutely. Going to Qatar, absolutely not.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
I'm very happy to watch that one on telly.
Politics aside,
I think we'll do okay. I mean, I think we've got a strong squad. I think it's. I think we've got as much chance of doing well in that as we did in the Euros, and we made the final of that. Although we were obviously a bit disappointed in the final itself. But no, we're in with a shout, right?
I think
have they just confirmed? Yeah. Is it literally going to be a case of they're just stopping the Premier League for a month or 5 weeks, something like that? In November, is that the plan? And then just go again?
I assume that they would have to. I mean, you're probably not going to lose as much time and as many games as COVID affected the season by. So I guess it's manageable now.
So Brendan's all in. Brendan needs to hit. He's got some outs though.
So many outs. Oh, how have you missed all that?
This is all of those, unfortunately. So Roman Campy busts Brendan. Yeah, but it's how far down the league are they? So what about championship teams? Because plenty of championship teams have got internationals playing, for them.
No, but they would have to carry on because they play more games. It's much harder to have a winter break or a few weeks off.
Do you think there'll be any? I mean, what is there? Nothing you can do?
Well, individual teams will be able to get games called off if they've lost more. I think if you lose more than 3 players to international duty, then you can apply for your game to be called off, but there won't be a break as such. I wouldn't have thought. I'm guessing, to be honest. These answers might already be out there, but I doubt that would be the case.
I'm looking forward to it. Listen, a couple of comments in the chat box. Mark Shepstone, please don't start talking about Norwich City. I tell you, in stages yesterday, I thought they played very well against Liverpool. Didn't deserve a result, but they looked dangerous. They got a couple of very decent players there. I thought Billy Gilmore, who obviously is on loan from Chelsea, thought he played really well, starting to show again some of the quality that we know he has. But it might be a bit late for Norwich, though.
Yeah, a couple of weird ones with Norwich, because I mean, you've got the likes of Campbell, who I thought was an up-and-coming player for Norwich, and then all of a sudden they loaned him out to Bournemouth in the Championship.
It seemed an odd one.
Just fairly weird one that.
Just didn't seem to hit it off with the new manager. I think it was. I'm sure I read about that. He just couldn't get a tune out of him. Very, very.
And, I mean, how amusing would you find it, Des, if Frank Lampard's Everton got relegated because of Frank Lampard?
I have to say, for both of them, I would be just really happy. Really happy. But oddly enough, Frank Lampard's Everton is the next hurdle for Man City. Man City go to Goodison next. And I've got a sneaky, I had a sneaky suspicion about Spurs. I've got a sneaky suspicion that Everton could make it awkward for City. Now, there's no data to justify that other than these things happen. So I think City have got Everton. They've got to go to Palace. They've obviously got to play at home to United.
Everton at Saints on Saturday didn't have a shot on target in 90 minutes.
But I think
at half time, I think Saints had 9 shots on target to Everton's none, and were only 1-0 up.
Yeah. I think at Goodison though, Did I see Shane Long scored a goal for the Saints? I mean, I thought
Yeah,
Shane
came
had
off the bench,
retired some
came
while
off the
ago.
bench,
It's good to see.
Des, if this is indicative of your level of database decision making, can we play heads up for rolls?
No, it's not. It's not. The only thing I would say is obviously it's a Goodison, and sometimes when you're playing the leading teams, I mean, Everton have given Liverpool a hard run over the last 2 or 3 seasons. They really have in Goodison games in particular. But I think you'll have Lampard, you'll have big, what's the guy's name? I want to say Don, but it's not Don.
Duncan
Big
Ferguson.
Big Dunk. I think
Doing
you'll have.
what?
I think
They
you'll have them,
don't play. You do.
I think you'll have them waving fists at the players before they go out.
Why?
This is City. This is Pep. Don't let them rub your nose in it.
Why do you think Everton are going to get up for City coming? They haven't got up for anybody so far.
Let's just wait and see. The irony here is, if Everton win, we win. Obviously, we beat Liverpool because City will drop points. If City win, we win anyway. So there's nothing to fear about this game.
Okay,
but I think
enough,
City have got to go to Palace, and obviously they've got that home game against United. I wouldn't necessarily want to be playing United at home because I think the one thing that United are very good at is counter-attacking with pace. So, I think you've got a sort of run of 3 little fixtures there. Given that City have suddenly dropped some points, suddenly they seemingly have let Liverpool back into the race. I think I'll put a little bit of pressure on them. And I know City have a great history in dealing with pressure well, but it'll be interesting to see how this next week and a half, 2 weeks goes for them.
Sounds like a Liverpool fan trying to justify why they might still be in the title race.
Simon Allen is the voice of reason in the chat. I would back Everton to get relegated way above them beating City. Yeah.
Well, they don't. Well, that's the beautiful thing, right? They don't have to win. Hold City to a point. I mean, that's as good as a victory in this type of close run.
Hold them to a point and nobble a few of their players. That's basically what we want. Yeah,
throw
really.
11 across the goal line if you can. We've seen you do it before. Hold some of them up so you're covering off the top bins, as it were, and see what happens.
Nobble a few of their players, because what we know about City is that they lack strength in depth.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah,
you'd have to nobble like 20 players to affect that.
Listen, I don't know if this is true, but Alisson, he made the assist for Salah's 3rd goal for Liverpool on Saturday, and some wise owl wrote on Twitter, "There's Alisson with the assist, just 1 fewer assist than Jack Grealish for City this season." I mean, has Jack Grealish only had 2 assists at City this season? That's incredible.
He didn't even come on. No. I think on the weekend.
No.
Get it. All in the call. King 9 versus King Queen. It's the King 9 at risk, and gets there on the river with a straight. Roman Champy doubles up through Roland.
Listen, a message here for
short stack.
Message here for us guys from Carl, sending best wishes to the lovely Di Farrell, who is recovering from a recent hospital trip. Credit to Blue Blood, Poker APAT, and the poker community in general. Well, yeah, absolutely. Hope you're feeling better, Di. We saw Di, of course, last weekend.
I hope I didn't put my foot in it with Di. I saw her and she'd looked great, and I told her that she looked great, and she'd said, "Oh yeah, I've lost a lot of weight because I've been really, really ill." I was like, "Oh shit!"
Bless her cotton socks.
That's backfired. So I really hope that she's okay, and we see her again soon.
Yeah, don't like to hear of anyone not feeling well, but it was good to see you, Di. I hope you had a good weekend.
Tom Clark says, "Good evening from drunken Glasgow."
TC.
So Asa says Grealish is currently injured.
Yeah, but he hasn't been injured all season, has he?
Has anyone noticed?
Did he take on Foden's mother? I mean, what's going on there?
Yeah, it is.
Can we say that?
Yeah. Tom Clark says, "Good enough for Europa League, but not Scottish League."
So what did Rangers do to bloody Dortmund midweek? They made them 4-2.
Yeah, absolutely smashed them, basically. Yeah,
absolutely insane. Somebody, Brendan is saying, shout out to Derby. So they're 4 to 5 points off of security now. They were 21 off at the start of the season. So Wayne Rooney's doing a bit of a job there, is he not?
Yeah,
He is.
you can't do much more than that.
No,
It's
absolutely right.
I mean, I think he said, I don't know whether you obviously the his documentary came out on Amazon Prime, I think I want to say, and obviously it got most of the headlines for the claim that he was going to go out and injure a player and change his studs accordingly and blah blah blah. But actually, one of the things that actually he did in some of the press rounds he was doing for that, when they were talking about where he is with Derby at the moment, and he and he genuinely said that if he keeps Derby up this year, it probably will be the greatest achievement of his football career.
Yeah.
Among everything that he's won and done, and top scorer for England and United and all this kind of thing, but that would be it. He thinks that would be his greatest achievement.
I say, there we go. I say,
double up for Roman.
Touch wood, he succeeds. Let's power him into the United role, Frank Lampard style, and see if we can get United down to mid-table ASAP.
I don't think he's. I don't think he's going to take the United role. It's interesting, actually. You look at it. We talk about. I mean, we criticise Lampard, but to be honest, Steven Gerrard has hardly set the world alight at Villa since going there. Everyone talked big things, and they've signed a number of big players. And Coutinho came in, and all of this talk. But actually, they really are struggling to get any results at the moment.
I'm not going to defend him. Let's see how long he keeps his seat for. Management is different. It's difficult. It's challenging. There's no guarantees that as a successful former player, you can walk into one of those jobs and be successful. It's a tough game.
It's a huge relief to be able to go back to hating Villa again, because while Dean Smith was manager, who started both his playing career and managing career with Walsall, I've always liked Dean Smith, and so that felt very uncomfortable to me, wanting Smith to do well. Now that he's gone, fantastic. The ribbons are off. Hate Villa again.
Tom, listen, Tom Bacon agrees with you guys. Wouldn't be surprised if City put
He doesn't
6
agree with
past
that,
Everton. As you guys think I'm like Tom in drunken Glasgow.
Roman on a roll here. He's gone from short stack now to chip leader, and we are heads up. Roman against Roland.
Tom was saying Lampard's teams always concede goals. Good enough for Europa League, but not the Scottish League. It is true.
So unlucky to Mark Shepstone there, finishes third. I know Mark's in the chat, so good run from you there, though, Mark.
Yeah. Well done, Mark.
Picked up about $60, I think, all in for an $11 buy-in. So nice. And this is a turbo. This shouldn't take too long now to.
Yeah, they're quite deep. There's quite a nice deep heads up.
So it's a really nice little tournament on a 9 o'clock on a Sunday night, because it probably runs for about 2.5 hours all in.
30 odd bigs each. I know it's a turbo, and we're going to get there soon, but that's good.
It is a nice one. So Paul is pretty much going to be the first of hopefully a run of the players from the APAT show team on the show in the next few weeks. Once they can all sort dates out that they can get on. So hopefully either individually or together. Obviously, Paul came on individually because he didn't want to show any favoritism by coming on the show with any particular player. But if you had to have picked one of the players, Paul, I mean, who would you say played the best across the weekend?
Well, that's a difficult question to pitch them.
What kind of a stitch-up question is that? Everyone played equally well, because as a team we won, and that was all.
Oh, that's super.
Jen Mason, there's your answer.
Yeah, I think wasn't that the answer in the team chat, wasn't it? Who was the better? Jen Mason. Definitely Jen Mason.
Yeah, who stayed in the team chat even when it became apparent that she wouldn't be able to make it. So she was
very much part of the.
She's now in California.
It's going to be a very awkward conversation next year, isn't it? But
it's done.
We're done with the.
It's fantastic.
We are done, and Romain Champy picks up the win there. And this is what I talk about the bounty. So both Romain and Roland picked up about $74 there in the end out of the prize pool. But from the bounties, Roland picked up $31. Romain picked up $121. That's really where makes all the difference on that final table. If you can get on a decent run to to bust a number of players as he did on that final table. So picks up a cool, just pretty much $200 for an $11 tournament for 2.5 hours on a Sunday night.
Very
Good
very
stuff
nice
indeed. You guys chat for a second. I will quickly update the leaderboard ladders, and I'll let you know who's what for the week.
I think we know the answer anyway as to who's dropping out for Jen next year, because I've made it known in the team chat that I hate cats. Not a big fan of cats at all. And Tom, who won the last longer at the event, he decided he's going to donate the last longer winnings to a cat charity just to troll me. To which my response was, that's absolutely fine. Just let me know which team you're playing for next year.
And of course, this all came from the Kurt Zuma shenanigans. So where it was originally. So
I've got a newfound love for Chris Wood after he's been whispering meow in Zuma's ear at every corner in Burnley. And
what the hell was going on there? Listen, Mark Shepstone says, thanks, guys. Enjoyed it. Carrie says, oi.
We've gone all soprano.
That's my New Jersey coming out.
Hey,
Carrie says, oi, rude. I think she's talking about you, Leigh. I think she's talking about you, putting El Capitano on the spot. Tom says, we're going back to football. Gutted when Gerrard left Rangers. Started well at Villa, but have had a few bad results recently. How long does a manager last in the EPL these days? That is a good question. Simon Allen, wouldn't be an awkward conversation at all. I'd happily bow out for Jen to come back in.
Cut out your nonsense, Alan.
What a good guy he is. I'll leave that to El Capitano. And Carrie says, no, Tom got us lots of points.
So, whereas I didn't. So I'll be a non-playing captain next year and
Who
just
knows?
pick the other race. That's fine.
Who knows? I think, and why wouldn't you do it this way? I think you got to go with the team that won the thing. You just have to, right? You got to go with the team that won the thing. Do you know why? Because they won the thing.
Well, why do you hate Jen so much?
I love Jen. Do you know what? I love Jen. I think we got to get Jen back on this APAT show, because the couple of times we spent together last year, crikey, over the last 18 months, we'd certainly some great shows with Jen, one of which we had awful technical problems in. It really got sort of destroyed, but it was a great show besides.
It was, International Women's Day special, Jen, Natalie and Kerry all on the same show in a few weeks' time. That's the answer.
Let's do it.
To be honest, we could just let them run the show. We'll just Des and I'll just take the night off.
We'll go off camera.
Whether you're on the show or not, that's the way it'll pan out. Because
to be honest, I'm quite happy with that. To be fair, I'll just cut my camera. That works for me.
Detail.
So let me give you an update where we are on the leaderboard ladders for the week. Well, Yanni and Tony got split in the end. The Ilfracombe Massive, somebody got in the middle of them. Carl Fletcher finishes second. Yanni tops the leaderboard.
Wow.
He's on step 3, so he's going to pick up 3 lots of $22 tickets.
Super.
Carl picks up 2 $5.50 tickets. Tony Ross, well, he's dropped down a step last week, but is going to be back up to step 5 next week. He picks up 2 $33 tickets. Alexandra Lavinenko from Belarus finishes 4th, and Richard Rulling-Smith finishes in 5th, so he's a step 5er, so he'll pick up 2 lots of $55 tickets. Also in the top 20 this week, Oliver Pennington, Juventino Cantu from Mexico, 4 cashes this week for Juventino. He's now up to step 4 for next week. Aaron Swaslin also made it into the top 20 as well. Glyn Wellings, 3 cashes this week for Glyn, so he started his journey. He will be on step 2 for next week. Matty Ogilvie finishes in 19th, so Matty goes from step 3 up to step 4 next week with a couple of cashes this week. So well done to everybody. Leaderboard ladders, it is going to be week 49 starts tomorrow night. We'll do it all again. So get involved if you can.
Fantastic. Thanks a bunch for that, Leigh. Big thank you to El Capitano, Paul Haycock, UK Amateur Team Poker Champion, I have to say, for joining us tonight. Absolute pleasure, Paul. I'm sure we're going to see you for future episodes. I would certainly hope so. Thanks to everyone for playing this week. We start the whole thing again tomorrow evening. Leigh and I will be back next Sunday night, hopefully with another guest from The APAT show team, Leigh, those guys won, and gals, they won the UK Team Poker Championship last weekend. I don't know if we mentioned that. So hopefully...
we should have probably mentioned it by now, yeah.
Yeah, just getting that out there. Hopefully we'll see another member of the successful team on the show next week. We will soon find out. Have a great week. There he goes. He shows off his medal. Look at that. Look at the shine on that, Leigh. That's magnificent. Have a great week between now and then. Leigh and I back next Sunday night. And until then, we will bid you adieu. Night-night, guys.